What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of G4 Outdoors. Are you having problems with your mower, leaving a little bit of stragglers behind? I've got the solution for you, and it's only going to cost $2. Stick around, learn how to get a better cut for your mower with just $2.
All for the love of guitars, girls, green grass, and guns. Yeah. I was busted outside the bus.
Today we are going to be working on my Aaron's Apex 60-inch. What we're going to be doing is leveling this deck out, and I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. Did you know that the actual angle of your deck, front to back, is going to improve your cut quality depending on the angle that you have it on? If you have it flat, there's a lot of things that's going to come into factor on that. It's kind of like the Darwin's aerodynamics theory. What happens there is when the deck gets tilted forward like this, you really don't have a lot of air suction coming up and it blows out of the sides. Turn all around, and then you stick your left foot in and you stick your left foot out and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it, so the front of your deck needs to be about 1/4 of an inch lower than the rear of your deck. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All right, so here I'm going to do the hard part for you, show you how everything is aligned. Over here on the deck, we're running 2 3/4 inches. Here on the blade, we're running roughly 3 inches. So your blade is tucked up under your deck 1/4 of an inch. So what does this mean for you? If the bottom of your deck is set at 3 inches, your blades are cutting at 3 1/4 inches. So first thing you're going to need to do, get yourself some 2x4s or something with a known measurement, preferably, what do these run at? On quarters. Preferably a solid 3 inch, 3 1/4, 3 1/2. Just go get yourself a 2x4 and I'll show you how to do this. Now, like I say, I'm going to take all of the thinking out of this and I'm going to do all of the measuring in front of you, show you that all you really need is a 2x4 and $2. So what I have here is a piece of lumber, and it is going to come up to 10/1000 under 3 inches. That is not a big deal to me. I'm going to call that 3 inches. So now that you have a known width of your 2x4, which is 3 inches, keeping in mind that your blade is 1/4 of an inch above that. So what you're going to do now, relieve all your deck tension. The 2x4 is 3 inches and the blade is another 1/4 inch above that. So you're going to want to stick your pin in 3.25. So if you're running a 3-inch wide board, follow these instructions exactly. So I have my pin set on 3.25. Keep in mind, your deck has 4 corners to it, 4 points of adjustment, and those are what we're going to be messing with. So now that you have this set at 3 1/4, go ahead and lift it all the way up. Now that it's in its utmost position, let's place the 2x4s or equivalent underneath the deck, and I'll show you how it is important that you need to do this. Like I say, there are 4 corners to your deck. You have 2 adjustments right here and the same on the other side. So stand your 2x4 up, and you want to make sure that it reaches from the front of your deck all the way to the back, because what we're going to be doing is lowering this deck down on top of these. Okay, now I have both of these placed under both sides. Now you're going to lower your deck down with the pin still in 3 1/4 and let the deck rest on these 2x4s. Now that the deck is resting on your 2x4s, if you saw me wobble these around, I can actually move, not that I'm sitting on it, I could actually move the front of this one and I could actually move the rear of this one, which means that my deck is actually cambered wrong. So we're going to fix it. It's nice to check these things out once in a while, guys. They do have tools that you can do this. I might show you one here in a little bit if Andy shows up in time. His deck's really messed up and I'm going to help him straighten his out today. But they do have tools that do straighten your blades out a little bit better, but I find this quick and easy, and me bringing you all the numbers makes it a lot easier on you. Just do it, trust the numbers, and it'll work out. So Andrew showed up, and this is the leveler that I was talking about. You just put this here on one blade tip, put this down here for a memory. Is that right? Nope. Anyway, you just put this on the blade tip right here. This arrow will come over here and show you where you're actually at. If you can see these right here. Yeah, so this on the blade of on the tip of your blade, and this right here shows exactly where the height of your blade is. Now, while we're dealing with the Aaron's Apex 60-inch, I'm gonna make it easy on you because you're gonna need a 3/4 inch open end socket and a 3/4 inch ratchet. Right here you have your locking nut. The first thing you're going to want to do is unlock your locking nut and go ahead and raise that up 1/4 inch just to get it out of the way. Next, you're going to need your 3/4 inch ratchet. This is going to go on the top right here, and this is going to be what raises and lowers your deck. So to show you what is going on here, I'm going to raise the deck up, and you can see the deck coming off of this board. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen this screw until the deck just comes down and touches that board. And that's all the further you need to go. Once it touches that board, now you're going to want to tighten the lock nut. Now this corner right here, this corner alone is set for 3 inches. The bottom of the deck is 3 inches. You can see I can barely move that, but it's barely touching the top of this board. So it's at 3 inches. Keep in mind your blade is 1/4 inch higher. So now this particular corner of the deck is set at 3 1/4 inches. If you're wondering why you would need to adjust your deck from the factory, well, sometimes the locking nut right here can come loose. When that comes loose, there's vibrations that'll cause, well, anything that comes loose, vibrations. It's going to come loose. This nut's going to screw around and your deck is going to become unlevel. Another reason is, depending on what part of the country you're in, the pitch of your deck is going to determine the cut quality of your lawn. Here in this particular area, we've discovered that 1/4 inch is really optimal front to back. So 3 inches in the front and 3 1/4 in the back. And that is where some of the tools, one of them should be showing up here shortly. You can actually measure the front of your blade and the rear of your blade and get those leveled out. One thing to also keep in mind, you want to be doing this on a level floor. I know that's hard to come by sometimes, but keep it as level as possible to get the best results. So now that we have this front quarter alone set, let's move over to the right corner and set it. And again, I'll show you how this works. Now keep in mind, there is a little baffle under here that you're really going to have to get under here and look at to make sure that this lays down on this board. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at this lip right here. So be sure and get down and watch this baffle down here start to land on this board. And then just as soon as it touches that board, you got a little tension on there, you're going to want to tighten your lock nut up. And you want to be sure and get that tight, because again, if that loosens up, the adjustment screw is going to walk itself out, and then you're going to have an unlevel deck. So probably by this point, you're probably wondering, how does it cost $2 to straighten your blade out? If you grab yourself 2 quarters, put a mic on them, it's going to come out to 0.265. That is totally close enough to 1/4 inch for adjusting your deck. So here on the rear, you're going to want to repeat the process as you did in front. Loosen your locking nut, raise that up, get it out of the way. Move your deck over just a hair so you can get your socket on there. And go ahead and lift the rear of your deck up. Once you can fit those 4 quarters under there, go ahead and lower your deck until that barely touches those quarters. Once that touches the quarters aren't going anywhere. Now you want to lock this locking nut back up. Now we have 3 corners done. Let's move over to the other side. Just like all the other corners, loosen your locking nut. Go ahead and raise that up out of the way. Now, as you can see on this corner right here, can you see? Yes, you can. There is actually quite a bit of a gap there. So if there's not a gap there, you want to go ahead and raise your deck so that you can fit your 4 quarters underneath there. There we have them stacked underneath there. Now it's time to lower this corner of the deck. You're going to want to put a little bit of down pressure on there because the deck doesn't want to fall down that low right now. And then adjust it again just till it sits on those quarters. And I felt it bottom out right there. So now locking up, so now tighten your lock nut. So guys, yes, it is that easy. All you need is 8 quarters, 2 3/4 inch sockets, wrenches, and you yourself can get your deck leveled in no time, saving a ton of money not going to the shop and getting it leveled. So guys, I hope that this $2 tip really helped you out. $2 is a lot better than paying all the labor costs that you would spend going to your local dealer. Doing it this way, you know you got it done right. You did it yourself. Be proud of what you've done. If this video brought you any help, please leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. We'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Now I'm gonna go call someone who cares.
Spent the night and a half to cage. Couldn't wait to get back on stage. Now I'm alright. Woke me up a little appetite for a whole lot of guitars, girls, green grass, and guns.